Okay, Broncos country, looks like we are live, but you guys know the drill by now. We've got to let the stream breathe for just a second here. Make sure that everything is nice and stable all across the YouTube platform. Welcome in, Broncos country, to this Denver Broncos Syndicate live stream. I'm your host, Gage Madrid. Let's go ahead and get a few people start streaming on in here before we officially get started. But before we do that, if you could just do me a big favor and smash the like button on this stream, as well as subscribe to the channel, I would really appreciate it. Those are both free and easy ways to show your support. It helps tell YouTube's algorithm to push us out, and it helps us get seen by more and more members of Broncos country, just like you and me. Additionally, if you want to go above and beyond in supporting the channel, please consider becoming a channel member today. The link is in the description below. If you want to support me, support the channel in general, and help improve the production quality of this content. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into it right away. The Denver Broncos had several players who did not participate in practice. In fact, J.K. Dobbins, Pat Surtain, Nate Adkins, and Alex Singleton all were DNP today. That means they are not going to play in the game. We knew about Alex Singleton. He wasn't going to play. J.K. Dobbins, pretty much the same thing. Pat Surtain and Nate Adkins, we were wondering if they could maybe get a limited practice today. They might have an outside chance, but that is not going to happen, unfortunately, for either one of those players. John Franklin Myers, they were unsure about him initially because he wasn't outside during the Friday media viewing of practice, but they did get to talk to John Franklin Myers in the locker room. The media did. Let's go ahead and bring this in. JFM said he's fine, just a little stiffness during practice Thursday. He practiced fine today, so no concerns there whatsoever. Overall, not having Pat Surtain out there, that definitely sucks. Denver's done a really good job without Pat Surtain. They've survived in coverage. Chris Abrams-Drain, Jahdae Barron, Riley Moss, they've all been good at cornerback. And then Talanoa Hufanga and Brandon Jones. They've played a huge part in this at the safety position. They have been a big reason why the Denver Broncos have been able to survive without Pat Surtain. They're giving up less than 50% of their passes when they're targeted. So, yeah, man, they have done a really good job. They have a really low passer rating allowed. That's going to be another key factor in this one. As far as Kansas City's injury report is concerned, only one player has been ruled out, and that's Isaiah Pacheco. Obviously, that is going to be a loss for KC. We're figuring to see more of Kareem Hunt as well as the rookie Brashard Smith. Smith definitely worries me as a receiving weapon out of the backfield. I think that he can do some really good stuff for the Kansas City Chiefs. And then Kareem Hunt, he's mostly been a third down and red zone back down at the goal line for Kansas City. We'll see what he has in the tank between the 20s this year. I'm very intrigued by that because we haven't seen a whole lot of Kareem Hunt between the 20s. It's more so just been third down and red zone work. Kansas City, no doubt they're going to scheme around that loss, but not having Isaiah Pacheco out there is going to take away a good chunk of Kansas City's run game. They do have Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, all of those guys, Travis Kelce, even Tyquan Thornton as a deep threat. So Denver is going to have to play and keep everything in front of them in coverage. They cannot let any of these deep guys get free. The weather is looking to be perfect for Sunday, says Devin. Indeed, perfect football weather. Really excited for it. It's kind of surprising. We haven't had our first snow here in Denver yet. It's only been cold a couple of times at night. So the weather has just been absolutely perfect this football season. And that is going to be the case for this game. Let's go ahead and look up real quick what exactly the weather is. I believe it's going to be like in the 60s. 69. Nice. That is an absolutely perfect temperature in multiple different aspects. If you know, you know. So, again, man, the Denver Broncos being without Pat Surtain and J.K. Dobbins, that definitely stings. Let's go ahead and check right here. Just make sure. Have they put out the official report yet? No, they have not. I'm not anticipating any surprises on the official injury report. I think what we have here is pretty much going to be what the actual injury report is going to end up saying. It's going to be on R.J. Harvey and Jaleel McLaughlin. Sean Payton talked about Jaleel McLaughlin specifically. He played in the Jets game, didn't really look that good. Hopefully, he's able to get some better looks in this upcoming game, especially when he's out in space, get him the ball on like swing routes and the occasional screen. He can also run to the outside pretty well. He's got good vision there. Jaleel's going to be a big part of the rushing game, along with R.J. Harvey, of course, who's going to spearhead the entire operation. And I believe Denver's going to lean more into these outside zone runs as opposed to the runs up the middle that we've been seeing with J.K. Dobbins. It's all about skill set for the personnel that you have in there. We'll still see Tyler Bidet in there. He'll be like a third down pass protection, pass catching back. In essence, the Samaje Perine role. But I don't believe that we're going to see a whole lot of Tyler Bidet. I don't anticipate a big uptick in his snaps. Julian says my favorite number. I think it's a lot of people's favorite number. I'm looking forward to seeing Harvey. I am too. He's been a touchdown machine for the Broncos in recent weeks, and they've been upping his utilization. They've been utilizing him more and more and more. Now it's a little bit forced with J.K. Dobbins not being out there, but still, they are upping his utilization, and I anticipate he's going to take this opportunity and run with it. He said early on he was kind of second-guessing things. Let's go ahead and get rid of this banner here. It's going to look a lot better that way. There we go. He said that he was second-guessing things a little bit, especially early on in training camp and in the preseason, a couple of the early regular season games. He was doubting himself in terms of vision. Should I cut it to the outside? Should I stay in the middle? So on and so forth. He says he's getting a lot more confident about that kind of stuff now, knowing when to cut outside, when to stay and let his gaps and his holes develop. So that is a really good sign for him. I think that as he continues to get more and more looks, R.J. Harvey is going to get better and better and more experienced, obviously, as a player. We got Robert in the house, our resident Raiders fan, one of the only cool Raiders fans out there. Thank you so much, my dude. Really appreciate the support. He's been here on Broncos Syndicate since 2022 when we first started. So, again, man, thank you so much, Robert. I really appreciate you saluting in the chat on almost every single video that we put up. Again, thank you so much. So, yeah, Broncos country, this is going to be tough, but good teams are able to overcome injuries. The Denver Broncos have done a good job overcoming this Pat Surtain injury. We're going to find out pretty quickly if they're going to be able to overcome the J.K. Dobbins injury. Dobbins has been their best skill player on the offensive side of the ball, and Pat Surtain's been their best player overall, regardless of side. So they do have a good track record of being able to scheme around losses, but at some point it is going to start to add up, and the Broncos are going to start to feel some of these losses. And then I know a lot of people aren't going to think of Alex Singleton as a massive loss, but not having him out there in the run game is going to hurt. Even though he's a liability in coverage, Alex Singleton is playing at a really high level against the run. There's also the question of who's going to be the green dot player on defense for the Broncos. Is it going to be Dre Greenlaw? Are we going to see Dre Greenlaw have a full snap count now because we don't have Alex Singleton out there? Or is Justin Strnad going to take that green dot? That is another really interesting conversation to have. Pat Surtain isn't playing, right? No way we can risk him getting injured even more. No, he is not playing in this game. The target for return was always the Washington game. Some fans were hoping that maybe he'd be back for this one, but I've been saying pretty much since the beginning that I wouldn't expect him to play in this one. And sure enough, did not practice throughout the entire week. In fact, we'll go ahead and just bring this back in one more time here for craps and giggles. The guys who are going to be out are J.K. Dobbins, Pat Surtain, Nate Adkins, and Alex Singleton. Again, no surprise there with Singleton. We were hoping maybe we'd get Adkins back, but it's looking like it's going to be one more game before we get him back. Same thing with Surtain. And we're still trying to figure out what the team's going to do with J.K. Dobbins ultimately. Well, here we go. Rap Sheet literally just put this out right now. Broncos running back J.K. Dobbins will be out on Sunday versus the Chiefs with a significant foot injury and is believed to be out for the foreseeable future per me and Tom Pelissero. Dobbins is still working through options, and while there's no final determination, IR remains a possibility. Again, he literally just tweeted this out 2 minutes ago. We got some breaking news coming down right here, right now on Broncos Syndicate on this live stream. Not a big surprise, especially when you consider Chris Thomason's report the other day that they were contemplating IR. That means that he's probably going to miss at least 3 weeks. They do have the bye week, which helps, but if he goes on IR, he's going to have to miss at least 4 games. Not 4 weeks, 4 games. The bye week would not count as a week missed due to the IR rules. So, yeah, man. Hopefully he doesn't go on IR, but if he does, then he's going to be out for at least the next 4 games for the Denver Broncos. We talked about R.J. Harvey. It's his show now. Will the Broncos add some depth at that position? We'll find out in due time. They do have Deuce Vaughn on the practice squad. Will they elevate him to the active roster? I don't know. I imagine for this game, they might not be able to just because they're probably going to need to elevate 2 linebackers, most likely Jordan Turner as well as Lavelle Bailey. Karene Reed went on IR. We've also got Alex Singleton dealing with his health issue. He's not going to be out there for the foreseeable future either. So I think they're going to have to elevate 2 linebackers. There might not be a spot to elevate Deuce Vaughn. It's going to be on Jaleel McLaughlin. It's going to be on R.J. Harvey, and it's going to be on Tyler Bidet. Debug says, R.J. Harvey, save us. Julian says, if it was my playing against the Chiefs, I'd find a way to take Andy Reid's knees out. That's mean, man. The Chiefs will be able to predict what the Broncos are doing based on who's on the field. If Jaleel and RJ are in, they'll likely run the ball or throw short. If Tyler's in, they're going deep. See, that is a thing. You do have a tell out there whenever Tyler Bidet is on the field. It's probably going to be a passing play. They don't hand the ball off to Tyler Bidet very often. So, yeah, there are some personnel tells out there. But again, guys, breaking news, J.K. Dobbins, he's probably going to be put on IR based on a couple of reports that we've seen. It's not for sure yet. They're still working through the options. Chris Thomason reported this the other day, and it has since been confirmed by Ian Rappaport. We got Holy Diver who says, McLaughlin is more than capable. I think if he's given touches, he'll do well. You guys know I've been a huge Jaleel fan historically. I was one of the first people to pump him up as he signed with the Denver Broncos as an undrafted free agent. I loved him coming out. However, in his last showing, he didn't really look very good. He is limited in what he can do. He can't pass protect, so he's probably only going to be out there on early downs. That's why he hasn't been active this year. He's a limited player, but there is a skill set that he has when you get the ball in his hands in space or even on some of these outside perimeter runs. You can utilize Jaleel and get some good production out of him. We've seen it in previous seasons. Sean Payton knows how to get the best out of Jaleel McLaughlin. I'm very confident in him. He's been Mr. Reliable for the Denver Broncos. I'd even argue during points in the last 2 seasons, Jaleel McLaughlin was the most explosive player that the Denver Broncos had on their roster. What about that rookie linebacker that was lining it up in the preseason? Well, Karene Reed was one of them, and then you got Jordan Turner and Lavelle Bailey. I imagine both of those guys are going to come up to the active roster for this game. We got Bo, who's a Chiefs fan, saying Chiefs are the best. Welcome in. We welcome all fan bases here on Broncos Syndicate. Michael asked if we still have Blake Watson. No, we do not. He suffered an injury at the end of training camp, and the Broncos ended up waiving him with an injury designation. He had a workout with, I want to say it was the Tennessee Titans a couple of weeks ago. I was thinking that he was going to come back after he was healthy, but it seems Denver is content moving on without him. He's still available, though. That is an option. If Denver wants to go out and bring in Blake Watson, bring him back to the practice squad, he knows the system, he knows all the other personnel in that running back room, I would not hate that at all, and I do think that is a possibility. I'm glad you brought him up, Michael. Okay, so you were speaking on Bailey there. Yes, Bailey had a really good training camp. Not going to lie, he fell off a tiny bit in the preseason, but still, he's shown a lot of promise, and I do believe that if given the opportunity, he will play well. I think Hufanga and Brandon Jones will stuff Travis Swift. For sure. I also think that Dre Greenlaw is going to play a factor there. I think that trying to take away Travis Kelce, that's going to be a big part of it. But also trying to take away Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice. Those guys have been more dependable weapons for Patrick Mahomes this year. Even Tyquan Thornton, don't sleep on him. He's a deep threat. So all of these guys need to be accounted for. Yes, Kelce is still Mahomes' security blanket, but it does look like he's on the decline a little bit. So you have to take away some of these other guys. You can't not account for Kelce. You have to account for Kelce. But again, these other weapons have been utilized a lot more in the passing game. And those are the guys that Denver are going to have to sell out to take away. I already got that one. Can CJ Anderson unretire? That would be pretty funny, honestly. I Love Gaming says Chiefs are the best. So we got a couple of Chiefs fans popping in this chat again. Thank you so much for popping in. We appreciate any and all forms of engagement. I Love Gaming says, remember to like and subscribe. Yes, please do that. Again, it really does help me out. It's free. It's easy. It only takes a second to do. Colorado Adventure says Patriots are the best. I mean, as of right now, they technically are. Everyone is so tired of the Chiefs. I'd rather any team win the Super Bowl but the Chiefs. I think everybody feels that way. It's sort of a level of fatigue, but it's frustrating because they're in our division. They're our rivals, but you've got to at least somewhat appreciate the greatness, man. There's something special brewing there in Kansas City. Obviously, they've already got 3 Super Bowls out of it. Patrick Mahomes is a generational talent, and you have to respect him as that. But it is hard, obviously, here in Broncos country to root for and respect the Kansas City Chiefs because they are our division rivals. And up until 2023, they got the best of us every single year. Why is everybody hating the Chiefs? It's a few things. I mean, like I said, the fatigue, the announcer glaze certainly makes it really annoying. Some of the special treatment it feels like they get from the officials. It's the elite quarterback thing. Brady got that same special treatment. And again, here in Denver, we have that extra level of hatred because they're our division rivals. Besides Deuce, do we have any other practice squad running backs? No. Deuce is the only one at the moment. Regina says Broncos suck. We are getting a lot of rival fans in here. Again, we welcome them, man. Any and all engagement is appreciated here on Broncos Syndicate. Cowboys are the best team, says Regina. Tavo says, go Broncos. Dom, yes, exactly. They are our rivals. My Cowboys are not the best team. We're 3-5-1. We got a few Cowboys fans in here. That's kind of crazy. Again, welcome in. Thank you so much for tuning in. The Chiefs are getting spanked on Sunday. I see the Broncos playing very well for once offensively. I do believe that they are going to be able to play well in terms of running the football. That's going to help, but Bo Nix is going to have to deliver his end of the bargain. His footwork is going to have to be clean. He's going to have to make the plays. This is going to be on him. If Bo Nix doesn't deliver, then we can start having some conversations about what he needs to do to improve for him to truly be a franchise quarterback. We're already having those conversations, but we know that those conversations are going to get even louder if he doesn't deliver in this game. Let's be realistic. Drake is about to get that Brady treatment. Yep, he's probably next in line in terms of those elite quarterbacks. Defense is trash. Jerry Jones is trash. Broncos whoop them. Chiefs fans are stuck in the Pee Wee Playhouse. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wind this stream down. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Turtle says, had this game circled since the schedule was released. I doubt I was the only one. This is our legacy game. We're like the Angels of football, crappy owner for sure. From what I saw from Tillman, maybe we should give him a shot at running back. Hey, man, I wouldn't be supposed to give him a couple of goal line packages. He definitely has a knack for carrying the ball. Bo has to start running the ball, has 20-yard lanes, and just wants to throw it down the field. And it makes me wonder, are they telling him to not run it? I really do wonder that deep down. Cowboys was good when they had Emmitt Smith. He's a dumbass for letting Parsons go, for sure. My favorite teams are the Chiefs, Vikings, Chicago Bears, Colts, Steelers, hated teams. I see the NFL wanting a Drake versus Mahomes playoff game. That might happen. Hated teams, Buffalo and Philly. Yeah, that was a fumble. All right, guys, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And until next time, Broncos country, I am your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.